Do you waste a ridiculous amount of time resizing images for Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, where every platform needs a slightly different crop?
Hey, love the square. Could we also get 16 by 9, 9 to 16, and 4 by 5 before lunch?
Well, me too. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to build a really simple little app that resizes your images in batches using free, no-code tools. Here's the twist. I haven't actually made this app yet. This is a real-time experiment. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know how long it will take, and I don't know which tool is going to be the best. The point is to show you how you can vibe code your way into something useful without knowing anything about software development. Let's see what happens. Okay, so the way that we're going to do this is try both Google AI Studio and Lovable. And we are going to use a website called ClipDrop, which is used for resizing the images. We're going to start real simple, where it just changes a square image into a 16 by 9 image. After that, we can build it out so we're able to use all sorts of images of different sizes and get outputs of different sizes as well. Another functionality that we're going to add in to make it genuinely useful, which will hopefully work, will be batch processing as well. I mean, if we were just going to do it with single images all the time, we could fairly easily do it in Photoshop. So adding that batch processing functionality is going to add a lot more usefulness to the app for us. Okay, so let's have some fun and try this out. Now we're going to take a different approach to what a lot of vibe coders do. Rather than just launching straight into the coding platforms, we are going to do a little bit of setup first. So first we need a project blueprint. So this is basically going to tell the coding agent how to create our files, what kind of colors, what kind of fonts, what kind of layout, what kind of rules, what kind of code structure we should be using. So we'll go into ChatGPT to generate it. And the other thing we need is a to-do file, which is our build plan. So this tells the coding agent what order to do things in, rather than just try and build it all together at one time. It's going to follow a sequence. The second thing we're going to do is create a mock-up that we like. So that will give us an idea of what the app is going to look like before it's even been built. We'll generate an image of what the app will look like using ChatGPT and maybe play around with a few different ideas. We'll do some research on how it should look. And then we will take away the text from the image so that doesn't confuse Lovable when we try it. Okay, so we'll start off in ChatGPT and first we'll give it a role. So we'll say, act as a professional web developer. I want to build a web app using Google's AI Playground build function and also Lovable. Do some quick research on best building practices for vibe coding. The app will be an image resizer app for designers, which changes square images into 16 by 9 images using the ClipDrop API, filling in the space around the edges. We want to design it with a sleek UI that is appropriate for the tool. We'll generate some mockups before we start coding. But first, we need to create a rules.md file and a to-do.md roadmap file. So please write those. It's going to go off and do its thinking and a little bit of research, and then it's going to give us those files back, which will be the foundation or the basis for what we're going to do. Okay, so it thought for 1 minute and 45 seconds, and it's created both of those files for us. First is the rules file. It says the purpose, the tech stack, our basic workflow, the AI playground build guidelines, the Lovable usage rules, the ClipDrop API rules, UX and UI guidelines, security and privacy, testing and quality, deployment and workflow, versioning, documentation. That sounds pretty solid to me. It's also got our to-do file, which has broken down the steps that we need to do it in. What we're going to do is first copy the rules file and save it. So we'll just select all of this, copy that, go over into text edit, we'll paste it into here, change this into a plain text file, save this as rules, and create a new folder. Let's call this image resizer until we think of a sexier name. Save it as a text file. So we'll go back to ChatGPT and get the to-do file. It looks differently now because I had a small problem with the canvas feature. Don't worry about it. So I regenerated it. Anyway, let's copy this to-do file, go back to text edit, paste it in here, make this a plain text document, and save this as to-do.txt. So the next step is to start generating some mockups. So let's just talk to ChatGPT and ask it to write some image prompts for mockups. I'll just click the mic button here. Okay, I'd like to create 2 different mockups of what this app might look like. So write 2 image prompts that I can use for an image generator. So here we go. We've got 2 different prompts. Let's just grab this prompt and we'll go into Sora. We'll paste it in here and make it a 2x3, so it's vertical. We can try a 3x2 image later. We're going to generate it in ChatGPT as well, so we get 3 different versions of each one. I'm going to copy the second prompt and I'm just going to say, okay, go ahead and generate that first image in landscape. We've got Sora already generating the image in portrait. We'll post in that second prompt and we'll keep that as portrait as well. Good. Okay, so we're going to get 4 different images and then we can choose the one that we like the most. After ChatGPT is finished doing its thing, we'll get 2 more versions as well. I do notice that for some reason it's generating it in square, even though I've told it to put it in landscape, but let's see what happens. Okay, so I always say that image generation is about iteration. I've gone back and forth with ChatGPT and Sora to generate a few different versions. In the end, I decided on a combination of the first layout with the second dark UI. And I think the best one is probably this one here. What we need to do next is we don't want to confuse the coding agent, especially Lovable, by dropping in this image. We'll try dropping this image alone into Google, but if we do that into Lovable, it's going to try and use this entire image and then overlay text onto the top. So we want to isolate just that picture of the mountain. So we will just click remix on here. We'll choose square and we'll just say isolate the image of the mountain and remove everything else and click remix and let it go. While it's doing that, let's go back to our generations and copy this one, go back into ChatGPT and we'll paste it in here. And I'm just going to say, I like this one. So now what I'd like you to do is write a detailed prompt just for Google AI Studio. And I want you to describe everything that we're trying to do. And I will also upload the rules and the to-do file. But I want you to describe what the UI should look like in detail and write a prompt for starting to create this app. Okay, so now we've got our square images by themselves. So I'm just going to download that. Now we've got our full prompt from ChatGPT 4.0. First, we're just going to copy this prompt and go over to AI Studio with Google. We'll go down to the Build tab, paste that, and upload our rules and MD file. It won't let me upload them as MD. So I'll change those back to text. Okay, I've changed both those files back into text documents. We'll just open those. And at the bottom of the prompt, we're just going to add, we are going to use the clip drop API for image generation. And we'll just click go. And then it's going to start creating files for us. Don't be overwhelmed by the weird looking files or the code that you see popping up on the screen. We're just going to deal with prompting on the left and the actual preview on the right. Google let us upload the rules and to-do TXT files. Lovable won't let us do that. If we try to upload a file to Lovable, it only gives us the options of attaching an image or an import for Figma. So what we need to do is go back to ChatGPT and say, rewrite the prompt just for Lovable. Include in your output all of the information from the rules and the to-do files that we created earlier, because I'm not able to upload those to Lovable. So make it a longer prompt than your last one. I just noticed that it actually says it's going to use the clip drop API. So I didn't need to add that before. You see, I just like to iterate really, really quickly. I don't read the full outputs. I just kind of trust that it's going to get most of it right. I just try to get it done as quickly as possible and then work with what I've got after that, just like I did with the images. Okay, so we've got our full prompts for Lovable here. So we're just going to copy this and paste it straight into Lovable along with our image of the mountain. And we'll let it do its thing and see what happens. So off it goes, similar to the Google AI Studio, but we're not going to see quite as many complicated things. Let's check on the progress over here. Okay, so this is what we've got. We didn't give it the image, but it's done a really good job of recreating the UI. So let's try it out. We'll just choose our square mountain file. And of course, if we convert it to 16:9, it's not going to work because we don't have the clip drop API yet. Let's just see what happens. Okay, so it's given us a broken image. I'm surprised that it gave us anything, but I think that's a really good start. So now it's time to create so let's go over to clip drop. We'll go into APIs, get an API key. Okay, we need to sign in with our email. Okay, so I got my API key after signing in with my email, and I'm just going to paste it in there. Let's just let it go now. We'll go back to Lovable and see what that has done. It looks like it's done a pretty good job. What I'm going to do now is paste in our API key. Most developers will tell you you should never hard code your API key into your actual code. You should store it in an environment file. Google has said, I have not hard coded the API key you provided directly into the code. Instead, I've used a process.env file, which is great. So I'm going to tell Lovable to do exactly the same thing and let it go. Let's go back to Google now, which may actually work. Let's give it a try. We'll click the mountain here. It's loaded that, and we'll just click convert to 16 by 9 and see what happens. Invalid API key. Oh no. Okay, my bad. I put in the wrong key, but I've sorted it out and updated the API key in Google. As you can see, it's done a wonderful job of extending it. Let's try it on another one. So I've chosen a file of my own little character in a can of paint, and let's click convert to 16 by 9. Not bad. It's added some stuff on the side, which is a bit weird, but the first result was excellent. So let's go back to Lovable and check that out. And it's done a great job as well. Now I've run out of credits on Lovable today. You only get 5 free messages per day. I can come back tomorrow and add in the functionality for batch processing. So let's try and add that in now into Google. So let's just type in here, now add batch processing. Okay, Google's done its thing. So let's choose a bunch of files. I've got 3 pictures here of Floob and his friends. This is an IP that I've been working on for a few years now and promoting. So I just want to see what it does with these 3 images. We'll open all of them. Good, it's queued them. That's great. And we'll say convert 3 images and see what happens. It looks like it's going to do them one by one, which is fine. And it looks like it's going to do them within the same window, which is great. Bit of a weird result on the first one. Not too bad. And the second ones have failed. So we just type in here. First image worked, but the others didn't. I've been using images of Floob and his friends for almost 2 years now and trying them out with different image generators, and it really struggles to replicate my style. So it doesn't entirely surprise me that we've got some funky stuff going on the sides there. I'm not sure which image generator ClipDrop uses, but I've had very poor results on most image generators because it's a pretty unique way of drawing the characters and the scenery. Like it's nothing that any image model would have been trained on before. Let's try some different images, some more normal images that you guys would probably find more relatable to use. Okay, so I've loaded in 3 images from other clients that I'm working with. Let's try that out and see if it works. Oh, failed again. So we just go back and tell it to fix it again. Keep iterating until it works. Okay, so just after one more prompt, now it's working. So that's great. So there you have it. I think Google's done a really good job. Tomorrow I will come back when my credits renew for Lovable and see how that's done as well. Okay, so it's the next day. We've got 5 new credits with Lovable. I've just asked it to add batch processing and let's see what happens. I've added in 3 files, so let's see if it works. Nope. Let's try again. What we'll do is we'll just copy this error and paste it in here and add the note. I tried adding 3 files. Please fix. Always say please before the robots come and kill us. Okay, it's done, supposedly fixing it. And it is processing the images. Fingers crossed. Okay, it has given us 1 file to download. Here's the other one. All right, it's worked. Great. Now the question is, if we can save the image, let's check that it saves it properly. The saved file has not converted as a 16 by 9 image, which is weird. It's given us a square image, even though it displays a 16 by 9 image, so it is cropped. We've only got a few more credits left, so I'm just going to tell it the result. The exported image is still saving as a square image, but it displays as 16 by 9 in Lovable. Let's see if it fixes this. Okay, it supposedly fixed the issue. So let's try and upload these 3 files again. Click convert and see what happens. Something went wrong. Still not working. Now, this is a ridiculous prompt, but I'm just quoting it saying something went wrong. It's not working. Let's see if it can fix it by itself. What I would usually do in this situation is go back to ChatGPT and describe what the problem is and get the O3 reasoning model to come up with some ideas about why this might be happening. And it could kind of nudge Lovable in a few different directions for it to investigate the problem. We're just going super simple here to see if it can fix it itself without getting too complex. Okay, so it's finished processing. The images look good. Let's just download this one to see if it has indeed worked. No, it's a square image. It's just zoomed out and made the legs fatter. So that's another fail. Let's see if we have enough credits to get this actually fixed today. I'm going to upload the file that I downloaded and just say it's still square. It's not changing to 16 by 9. Okay, so it's fixed, supposedly, again. I think these are probably our last credits for the day. So let's see if it works this time. Oh, error again. Not good, Lovable. To be fair, I could have given it more context, more instructions, perhaps some hints from O3, but that's a shame to see that Lovable hasn't worked. All right, so Google was the clear winner today. These tools are evolving so fast that it might not be true next week. The main thing is, don't be afraid to mess around with this stuff. You don't need to be a coder or a developer to make useful tools like this. If you're constantly resizing images or doing repetitive creative work, try building your own solution or follow along with mine. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to save you time. All my links are in the description below if you want to get in touch. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.